This is not zero cal. You don't like it?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. Well, I need zero cal, but yeah,
Good, it's zero calories. What's going on here?
Yeah, which one do you want?
Fucking, I'm easy. This one tastes like a pina colada.
I don't even know what that is.
All
I'll
right.
take this one. I don't drink alcohol. Are we live? It's actually my first podcast.
Yeah?
I'm actually kind of excited to do this.
More excited or nervous? What do you think?
Both, because I plan on being famous one day, so I gotta get good at this.
Makes sense. Yeah, got to get used to being on camera and stuff like that.
Exactly.
What would you get famous for? What's your vision quest?
Honestly, there's a few things.
Yeah.
But it's all gonna stem from bodybuilding in the beginning. So that's the one thing I'm kind of focusing on right now.
Nice.
But I want to do a lot more after that, because I know I can't do that forever.
Sorry.
But my plan is to kind of make a name for myself with that, because that's something I'm very passionate about.
Yep.
And then transition to other things later on. I want to kind of keep secret for
Nice.
now.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, it's smart. Smart, right on. So, I've known you for what feels like a long time. Like, it's been a
like
minute,
20
dude.
years.
Yeah, it's actually wild. I'm pretty impressed. Longest, say friendship is a loose term, but I definitely say acquaintance, like friendship, and then
Friendship?
back and forth. Yeah,
Like even when we see each
didn't
other,
live here a lot.
Yeah, we don't see each other for a while. We still kind of pick back up.
It's awesome.
It's like old times. Honestly, you know what's surprising?
Still support whatever you do. So
Yeah, exactly. What's surprising is I have a lot of friends from childhood
oh shit.
that like almost all of them I'm still good
Yeah.
with. There's only one I gotta say that I'm not really good with. Like
Oh,
maybe we're
weird.
kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But out of everyone I know when I'm in my childhood, I'm still really good with.
Oh shit, eh?
Yeah, you know, some people like they grow out of friendships.
Yeah.
They don't really be friends anymore.
Yeah.
I'm friends with everyone.
But you've kind of like grown with everybody at the same rate.
Yeah,
so
or
it
even
makes
though
sense,
we're all
yeah.
different, we still kind of respect each other and see each other.
Interesting. I like
Often,
that.
yeah.
I like that, dude.
Yeah.
There's what I'm thinking about. Let's take it back so people can have a bit of context of how you grew up. So you
Or how we grew up, or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Eh? Like
Yeah.
you weren't born in
I was
Canada,
born
yeah?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, born
okay.
here.
So when did you, in terms of high school and leaving high school? Let's fast forward to that then. What was that kind of transition like for you in like grade 11, grade 12, figuring out what you wanted to do and whatnot? How'd you kind of decide what you wanted to do?
Where I
Take me
wanted
through
to
some
go,
events. Yeah.
I had no idea, to be honest. Yeah, I had no idea. When it came to like that age, all I cared about was wanting to kind of be seen.
Right.
Because growing up, I was always a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I got bullied a bit growing up.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a lot, but the guys I'm friends with now, actually, a lot of them actually did kind of bully me growing up, which is kind of funny and ironic because now they wouldn't do anything to me. But yeah, so I didn't really know who I was, who I wanted to be.
Right.
So this is where bodybuilding came in, because I honestly just was like, hey, like I felt insecure about myself. I didn't really fit in with everybody as much because I knew I was kind of funny, but I didn't have much confidence. I knew I can get along with people. I just didn't really feel like I fit in.
Yeah.
I was always seen as different because I was the European kid.
No,
My
it makes
haircuts
sense.
were like the soccer player haircut.
Yeah.
I wore the tracksuits at school, and I didn't really, whatever.
Yeah.
So, so I started kind of just, I had a friend, remember our Polish friend there?
Oh,
Yeah.
me.
I don't want to give the name because, a bunch of
not
things.
sure.
I played soccer, and then he got really big.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually started getting pretty big. And
Oh,
working out.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Now I do.
So
Yeah,
our parents are friends, and then I started going to the gym with him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, when I started going to the gym, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a clue, right? I was probably the skinniest kid there.
Right.
And I was very skinny growing up, by the way, for people who don't know me. So
wild, man.
yeah, like
Wild
150 pounds ago. Literally, actually, I was there last night. I went to Laurentian last night. That's where I started working out.
Yeah.
We're going to go on.
Let's go, baby. Let's
yeah,
go.
I got to go back to this. Yeah, so, so what I wanted to do, why I did whatever. Yeah, I was insecure, and then I started going to the gym with him. And the reason I started going, because I wanted to, like I said, fit in. I wanted to feel confident. I want people to stop like looking at me as like this weirdo loser kid kind of.
Yeah.
And I wanted girls. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to get girls at the time because I'd see guys getting girls. I'm like, why are they getting them? Why can't I? So that's how working out started. I started going to the gym. And so and then grade 11, grade 12, I started getting a little bigger. I was always taller than everyone.
Yeah.
Started putting on a bit of muscle. Grade 11, grade 12.
Nice.
I got a little more, I'd say, popular, but I was still good with everybody.
Sure.
But people were starting to kind of notice me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then in grade 12, when it came to like picking what I was going to do after high school, I had absolutely no idea, and I honestly didn't have much like ambition or drive to do much.
Right.
I don't know why. I just wanted to have fun. That was just me. I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to like go out. I wanted to chase girls. I probably shouldn't say it. Whatever. Yeah. I want to just, you know what I mean, like play
Reality,
sports,
man.
and just party. I thought just life was all about partying. And then fast forward the summer of grade 12, and it was my dad forced me to go to university. I got to be honest, he forced me to get a degree. So He's like, you got to get a degree. I didn't come to this country, whatever, whatever. You know the whole
The
spiel.
whole immigrant speech.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up applying to Laurentian. I got in law and justice.
Oh, interesting.
But that summer, going into university is where one of my best friends ended up passing away.
Oh, yeah.
DJ.
Yeah.
He got hit by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
And so that's where my life just kind of
Jeez.
transitioned and went off the rails for a little while.
Yeah, how did one of your best friends passing away affect you at that? Like, how do you cope, like, even just deal with that?
Honestly, now I'm good.
Yeah.
But for a couple of years when that happened, that me and my our close friend group didn't really notice the effect it made on us.
Right.
But it didn't put a big effect on us. You know, like we kind of all went off the rails. All we wanted to do was just party, have fun. We never really took time to sit back and think about what happened or like the trauma, like kind of work on the trauma that we got put through. Yeah.
Say just bury it.
So I just kept burying it, and honestly, when I was in school, I didn't really care much when I was in school. The first 2 years of school, I just wanted to go out and drink and get girls and have a good time.
Yeah.
I wanted to mask my problems.
Yeah.
And work out, obviously. So that's all I did. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, get some party muscles.
Interesting.
So I did that, and then so I didn't, like I said, I didn't really have a goal or like a kind of place I wanted to go. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
That was your question.
Yeah, for sure. There's the thing that I'm always curious about, man. A lot of people have that. So I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
And then now this is what I did, and this is where I'm going. And sometimes it mirrors or not mirrors. Sorry, it rhymes with what they decided to do, and then how they kind of fell into what they're doing now. But I'm curious because you graduated with a business degree, correct? Mm-hmm. So how did you make that shift from like law and justice to
numbers? Were more my thing.
Okay.
When
did you figure that out?
My whole life. I was not someone who can. I never, to this day, it sounds bad, never read a book in my life.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I went to university and graduated. Yeah. I can talk a lot about what I think about school nowadays.
Yeah, we can
but I finished a degree without reading a book.
Jeez.
I went to class and listened to my profs, and I wrote my tests, and I passed.
Yeah.
Actually, I did kind of have an idea of who I wanted to be.
Right.
In a sense of like more of a feeling or an emotional way. I'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until recently where I actually finally was like, okay, like I am doing what I always thought I'm meant to maybe be doing.
Cool. Like you're on a path.
Yes,
more of
I didn't think it was going to be
purpose.
bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I didn't, but like I found my purpose. Bodybuilding is maybe, I guess, the purpose, but there's a feeling and a meaning behind what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I can
go for it.
Yeah. So there's this movie Troy. I tell a lot of people there's this movie Troy. You ever watch Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know Achilles.
Yep.
How he's like a warlord. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really follow anybody. I never liked listening to anybody. I never liked being an employer. I had a lot of jobs in my day, and I'd never liked having a boss or having someone tell me what to do.
Right.
So when I was really young, I watched that movie, and in the movie, he's like really like respected warrior, I guess, and he never really gets anyway. So I guess I'm gonna tell the whole story.
Yeah,
so
man.
His mother's like a witch, and he goes to his mother, and before he goes off to this war, and he says, "Mother, what should I do? Should I go to this war, and fight, and like, or should I like stay home and not fight for this king or whatever?" Mm-hmm. I'm trying to like fast track it for the people who don't know. And then his mother goes, "Well, if you go to war, your name will never be forgotten forever. Your name will live on forever.
Right.
And you will be known as the greatest warrior of all time.
Interesting. Yeah.
But if you stay at home, you're gonna have a wife and kids. You're gonna have a quiet life kind of thing, and you're gonna die, but your name will be forgotten after your grandchildren."
Yeah.
So she was kind of like a median, whatever, in the movie, and that kind of hit me. I was like, who do I want to be in life? And to be honest, the warrior
sounded a bit
thing
more.
kind of sounded a little more intriguing to me.
Yeah.
So going on to now this bodybuilding thing, and sacrifice. So he basically sacrificed having a normal life for an ultimate, like, kind of like a facade of him being known as the greatest warrior of all time. So I always thought growing up, I don't know what it was going to be. I wanted to kind of, I felt like I'm going to have to sacrifice a lot of things in my life to make it really be great in something that a lot of people are going to see as like crazy. And recently, it wasn't until bodybuilding where I actually like started picking up on it the last couple of years and really doing good and seeing myself having potential one day.
Right.
Where I was like, this is the thing that I was always thinking I was going to do.
Yeah.
Where I was like, because it takes a lot of sacrifice. We'll get into that.
Oh, for sure.
Like you have to eat 6 times a day. You can't really go out and party. You can't like go hang out with friends. You have to bring your food around. You got to go to bed on time. You got to be up on time. You got to train on time. It's a very regimented, rigid lifestyle.
Yeah.
But you're sacrificing all this for a bigger purpose.
Right.
So there's a lot of other purposes to that. I don't want to get into it now because in the future, maybe next year we'll get into it. We'll get into another podcast. But so that's where I got my idea of bodybuilding. And I kind of was like, I kind of found my purpose. Yeah. That's why I'm really gung-ho on it right now, and I'm giving it my all, and I'm sacrificing actually a lot of relationships. I have sacrificed a lot even in the past for what I'm doing. Not just relationships, but even just lifestyle, right? Like a normal personal lifestyle.
So now, my question is, with using that as a weightlifting, working out, bodybuilding at the beginning stages of kind of springboard was from the insecurities, right? And all that, and that's what kind of got you into it, needless to say.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not fully the only driving force,
There's
but
lots of
one
things,
of them, right? And then now for you to be, having been in that vulnerable state, to now be putting yourself on stage or coaching people to be on stage and getting over that initial, like every time I go out to host an event or speak in front of people or go on stage for something, what have you, I get a bit of anxiety. It's not that bad, thankfully. But
like coaching others or helping others?
But what I'm wondering is, how do you coach, or how do you as well get over the stage fright, paired with how do you coach people to get over the stage fright of going on? Because you're like, why do we work out? Oh, because we were insecure, and now I'm putting myself on display for other people to criticize and look at what's the difference. It's like that's pretty vulnerable. That's pretty out there.
I had some practice growing up.
Okay.
But I also have there's two reasons for it. The practice growing up was I used to actually do Croatian dance and singing.
Oh, sick.
I was a lead singer and dancer growing up.
Nice.
My mom was like the Croatian, what do you want to call it, like president of all the things in our community.
Nice, yeah.
And she ran the school and
Yeah.
so she forced me to do that all my life.
Yeah.
And we used to we used to travel our group, to like all over Ontario. And we'd perform in front of thousands of people on stage, where I would get on first, start singing and dancing in front of people.
Oh, no kidding.
So the whole stage part, I had to get over at a young age.
Oh, okay.
I kind of got, so I got a bit of practice.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, and in terms of getting on stage half naked in a Speedo with some oil rubbed on you, that's a little different. It's a little harder.
A little bit, yeah.
That took a little more confidence, but I told myself the reason why it took me so long to finally actually compete, because I've been bodybuilding for years now, you know I've been doing this for a while, is because I wanted to know that if I'm going to get on a stage, I want to know I feel ready. When I feel ready inside. A lot of people don't go that route,
right?
And I wanted to, and so like that for me was like I felt confident enough that regardless of where I place, how I do this year, it's my rookie year, first time ever competing, or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to just get on there and have as much confidence as I can, because if I don't, I'm going to look stupid. So I'd rather look confident and maybe not as good physically, or confident and look really good. I'd rather just be confident. You know? If you're not confident, you're going to look even worse.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just act like I'm confident.
And
I also had the practice too.
True. Isn't it, I was watching a couple of videos and reading some about when Arnold was talking about posing on stage, and that a lot of the poses he chose were versus the other guys back in his day, where they were always closed off a bit, whereas he found he was like opened up more, and he's like, I would pick poses that would make you open up, which would project confidence more. And I was like, oh, interesting. So he's almost, for lack of a better word, power posing to get through and to display his confidence more. Like he's choosing positions that make him feel more confident.
Posing for your physique.
Yeah,
posing for your physique. So there are mandatory poses.
Right.
But then you can also...
really?
Yeah, so there's mandatories.
Interesting.
You can also sort of pose for that too, like change little angles. There's little tweaks you can do.
Oh, okay. There is room for...
There's room for movement, not a lot, but then you pose for your physique.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like...
Oh, sick. Okay.
So then someone who's bigger like me,
yeah,
I can also pose large and look even larger than the guy who's next to me who's 5'10", not 6'4".
Jesus, yeah. Sick, eh? Oh, it's awesome. What made you decide to take bodybuilding and competing in that seriously? Like to a point where you're like, okay, I got to commit some time to this. Because over a year ago, we had a similar conversation, a bit of a conversation in your basement about this when I was buying gym equipment from you. And you were talking about, okay, I need to like make this shift. I need to do this. I need to do this. When did you decide? Like, was that close to when you decided, or did you decide a bit more and then you never really put it into?
So during those party years of my post high school university days, deep down I wanted to do it. Right. I just didn't have the discipline.
Oh, okay, so you always knew.
I had this feeling I wanted to do it because I was intrigued by it.
Yeah, you could have an urge to do it for sure.
But I just never had the discipline. So I didn't want to do it, like I said, till I was confident and ready.
Yeah.
And then also I wanted to do it. That confidence meant having the discipline and knowing I could stick to a diet for 10 weeks without going out. It first started with a month without drinking, and then 2 months without drinking, and then 2 months without a cheat meal, and then I just push myself.
Yeah, just slowly
till I can do a year of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I built myself that confidence up. I built that discipline up. I built the physique up. So it basically just took a lot of time, and for years I was like kind of like in and out, half-ass in and out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it took me honestly like 6 years to really finally like say I'm going to do this, and also financially speaking. Like I said, I don't like being an employer. I'm not saying anything against it.
Employee,
sorry. I have no problem working for someone. I'm working right now.
Employee,
but in terms of like, if you ask me what I want to do with my life, I want to be my own boss. I want to be like, I don't care if I work every day, 24 hours a day. I know you can't, but I don't care to work long hours, long days. If it's something that's mine.
Right, you enjoy it.
I don't want to make somebody else money.
You enjoy it for you.
Exactly. I want to make myself that money, and then also be able to, and then with that, be able to give back. I'm not someone who's very selfish. I feel like people are very selfish nowadays.
Yeah.
So, or employers, or in general businesses, or we can get into that.
No, I agree.
So
I agree for sure. Is that why you? That's why you picked business as a degree? Like
honestly, because I thought it'd be easy to finish.
Yeah.
I knew that I was doing it because like, you know what? Maybe it'll help me with work. But I find nowadays school does not. Other than like an engineering degree, nursing degree,
teaching.
PhD, teaching.
Yeah.
If you're getting a PhD in whatever or becoming a doctor, you'll get a job. But,
You need
the other stuff is like, you got to work your way up. And like I said, I don't want to get into a job where I have to work my way up and think that's going to be a career, because I don't want to have a career. I want my own career to be my own entrepreneurship or whatever I choose to do.
It's a very old school type of way of thinking with you're going to do this, this one thing, you're going to do career, and you can't Man, I hear family conversations and at my own house and then other people's houses and stuff like that, and they're like, what are you doing? Oh, well, you got to set yourself up for retirement. I'm like, retirement? What the hell are you talking about? That's 30 years away in your world. I'm like, if you're enjoying it, are you really retiring from it? You have to like hang your jersey up from doing something that means you can't do it anymore at a level you were always able to. It just seems silly to me, that concept.
My take on that, I'm trying to be unbiased, a very unbiased opinion, is, and this is not putting anyone else down.
Right.
Not everybody's meant to be a leader.
No.
Not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur.
You're right.
More people do better when it comes to, okay, do this work, go do it, and I'll pay you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or go do this job.
Yeah, some people prefer it.
The majority of people on planet Earth are going to be better at following orders than they are going to be making orders or running a, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's why I
easier.
understand where that opinion comes from, because I've had that my whole life. I still get it.
Right.
I'm 20 years old. I don't have a career yet, which does bother me a bit, which is also why I said I got to push this bodybuilding thing, because I want to give it my all while I can. If I can't, I'm changing paths. I'm going to transition to something else.
Yeah, like law enforcement.
We'll see. Maybe, maybe like security for like
firefighting.
Maybe I'll be like the government security, prime minister security. Not for Trudeau.
Cool.
I'll let him
Yeah,
go.
not for him.
He can have a nice day. I don't want to say too much.
No, you can get bent, dude.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that guy.
Me neither. So that's why I say like I get where they're coming from, because for example, my grandparents, they came from overseas.
Yeah.
They had nothing else to do but to get a job, work. They had a good pension to be able to support their life. But nowadays, those same jobs don't really support families like they did back in the day, and not everyone has like.
It's unfortunate for sure.
And with technology, we have more opportunity to do other things.
Oh yeah, we can see what's available, learn quicker speeds. Yeah, man. The amount you can learn and what you can pass on and how much more value you could take away and add to other people's lives is incredible.
I can YouTube a video on how to change a part on a car, or go do some drywall, or go paint and put a roof on. Like you can just watch a video and learn it and do it. Whereas back in the day, you know, like I don't know, but not everyone has the will to do that. But you can just do what you want.
But that will is what's going to separate like you said, the entrepreneurs versus the people who are just like
okay with a job and just actually, it's not even a bad thing. Just not everyone has that little fire switch in them that says like I want to do something different. I want to be on this side of the world. I don't want to be doing this. And not everyone succeeds either.
True.
That's what bothers me in my head, because I'm like, okay, like I know I think like this, but like
I got a book for you.
Okay.
I got a book for you.
I don't read books.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you the cliff notes.
Okay.
So it's this book called E-Myth.
Yeah.
Right. And this book E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber or Robert E. Gerber, either way, semantics, but I think Michael E. Gerber. But it doesn't matter. It's gonna drive me nuts not knowing though. But what it is it talks about 3 types of like people who run a business, right? You need to have all 3 of these for the business to be successful. You need to have an entrepreneur who's thinking about the future and thinking about building and thinking about like dreaming, right? And like creating. Inspired person is the entrepreneur.
The visionary.
Exactly. Yeah, the visionary, having the vision. that you need a manager, somebody that's structured, that's not thinking about that, but is not doing the work. The one that's structured, that's making the schedules, getting jobs, putting jobs into place, billing, invoicing, all that, right? So you have the manager, the entrepreneur, the manager, and you need the technician. You need somebody that's very good at doing the job, right? But a lot of times, and why the business this book says the majority of all businesses fail is because a lot of the times it's the technicians that they'll be in the shoes that you were in, where they're having these conversations with themselves where they're talking a lot about how, oh man, like I see my boss making all this money, he's not really doing much, I'm working for him, I'm doing all this, without me he wouldn't do anything. And then he's like forget it, I'm going to start my own business. And then all he's doing is just making himself self-employed because he doesn't realize, well, now I have to do all these things extra. I now have to do this. Well, I can't get jobs, but I also need to, I don't know how to get jobs, but I also need to be doing the jobs. If I'm doing the jobs, it's like all you're doing is basically you're now creating a job for yourself, except you're taking on more, right? And so you can pay yourself a bit more, but you're also doing a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of the give and take, but I think that book, even if you find an audiobook way of doing it or consuming it, a lot of the knowledge in there talks about that being a primary driving force, of having the 3 different types of people that, oh, they dream about this and they want to do this and they want to do this. But if you're the one doing the work all the time, you transitioning out, all you're doing is like a carpenter they use, right? If you're a carpenter, you're building all these amazing roofs and these buildings, and then it's, oh, I want to start my own business, but you still work in the same amount of hours in a day. You're just making a bit more. It's like, well, are you really running a business now? No, you're just collecting a little bit more, but now you're doing twice as more and you're more stressed because now your day-to-day paycheck relies on
how much you do,
right? Instead of like, I'll get paid the same whether I half-ass it tomorrow or not, right? Yeah. Depending on how you look at it. So I really recommend this book, E-Myth, because it gives a lot of different examples, which is why I think it's important to read for anybody who's like, who reads or who's in books.
But I got the gist of it. Yeah.
That
makes sense.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. That's why they fail. That's how they look at it. And I found a lot of stuff like that. I'm like, oh, interesting. When you were in business school, did you have anything stand out that you learned that you remember, or is it just like, I want to get through this?
Sounds really bad.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to school, man, honestly, from day one, I never thought of it. I wish I kind of did think of it seriously as I would now if I did it again. It's just too late now to do it, and maybe it's not to some people, but it is for me. I just wanted to get through it, and I was always told, like, you're gonna maybe need this, this will be important, this whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't care. It went in one ear, out the other. And I do kind of regret that because I feel like I could have learned a good amount in university. At the same time, I didn't even agree with a lot of things we were learning in university because it was very skewed to one viewpoint. Let's say, like even though I was learning like things in business, economics, whatever, finance stuff, but there were certain classes I was taking where like I was getting taught things that I'm like, I don't actually agree with that. Like certain, like, let's call it like left wing ideas.
Sure. That
they push in universities that I was not.
Can you think of one?
It's actually been years now, but
like an example one.
I don't know. Yeah, I like
those are interesting because I'm always curious on.
I could get on it, but like it's even like, for example, I'm gonna be honest. Like in class, I got in a debate with my professor. There is stats that show technically this, but you're gonna agree with me on this, where like women don't make as much as men on the in the same job.
Right.
I don't agree with that.
Sure.
In Canada.
Sure.
I'm gonna tell you why. If you worked at Laurentian University as a prof, and you're male, and a female worked there as a prof in the same department, she would get paid the same.
Yeah.
Because if women made less, I'm telling you right now, corporations and business owners would only employ women.
Oh,
why would I employ someone to pay someone more? I would employ someone to pay less.
Yeah.
But they make less because in the stats, but little things like that. I don't want to get into wow now, right? But,
interesting.
So
like they need you.
So I actually on certain, like, let's say we didn't have essays, but certain projects we did where I would like say something that I didn't agree with, like political or whatever.
Sure.
If I didn't agree with the prof, he would actually like basically fail me. So I had to write something that I agreed with him. So that's where like why I have those views on university. That's why I kind of think there's certain programs I agree with. There's certain things I don't agree with.
And that's a business program.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not liberal arts.
I took an economics class and it was talking about debt and certain things, and I was just like, I don't agree with this. Like, I wouldn't run my business like this, or I know lots of people who don't do like this.
Take out a bunch of debt, or
no, it's just the way it was. I don't know. It's gonna be too long to explain.
Go ahead.
It's just I just didn't agree with it. I just didn't agree with it. So yeah, it wasn't my thing. And so yeah, I basically just went to school to do it to finish it.
Yeah.
If I did it now, I would have taken it more seriously because I would have learned more about like. See, I don't even know what I would say right now because I didn't even learn. I forgot it all.
I think you'd be able to filter out the BS and like kind of retain more of what was relevant to what you want to do.
Yeah,
it's tough though, right? Because now, almost being 30, trying to understand, be like, oh, well, now I know what direction I'm on. It's easier to remember and go, oh man, I wish I would have remembered this. I wish I would have paid more attention in this class, right?
Yeah.
It's like back then, it's like, well, we don't know. It could be anything. Could it all be important, or could this be a waste of time, right? So that's a tough catch-22 that people deal with going in too soon. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
I say I should have waited, but at the same time, like I said, my parents forced me. Dad mostly. European old school, like Eastern European dad, where it's basically like a, you know what I'm talking about. Awesome. Yeah, like I probably would have never even went if he didn't force me. I would have gotten a trade.
Yeah.
And I would have just been my own employer. Yeah. I would have just had my own little business, worked for myself, and pursue my dreams though.
Yeah, made enough schedule, kind of.
Yeah, and just make it work around.
Have fun with it. The thing that I'm curious about now, talk to me about.
Which I'm kind of still doing now, which is maybe,
yeah, which is interesting. But talk to me a bit about your time, because you've gone back and forth to Croatia a bunch, right? In the years and stuff like that. What are some underrated things about Croatia that people might not know?
Or Bosnia, for example?
Yeah, or Bosnia.
Because actually I lived in both. I stayed mostly in Herzegovina, which is the bottom part of Bosnia.
Right.
On the map, they don't show that here because, like, politically, it's not really seen as, it's all seen as one, but it's a whole political thing. What stood out? What was different?
Yeah.
The whole lifestyle, the whole everything, even the economic system, the social system, the political system, it's way different. They have like 3 governments there. It's
I got a story for you.
Okay. Well, yeah, you've been, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so once you're, because I have a second question I want to ask, but I want to make your point of the social justice.
Okay, and we will in 1 second. We'll not forget. And then like also like even, what was I gonna say? Like what is it? Lifestyle, economically, socially, politically.
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's a different world actually. And you go ahead on your point. I'll try to remember.
You're gonna love this. So, Buddy and I are in Split, right? And we're having a patio. There's like a bunch of patios, beautiful, right? Cobblestone. Yeah. We're a bunch of cobblestone patios and whatnot that we were able to go. Or sorry, alleys. That's my bad. Yeah. Alleys that you can walk down. There's just like restaurants.
In between the castle, it looks like castle-y.
Yeah. Yeah. It's close to the waterfront, but it's not.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
But it's like I can't jump in from my seat. But what man, I remember. So my buddy James and I, right, because we were road tripping, and we made this. He made this joke. The waitress came over to us and was like, I think it was towards the end of the restaurant, or like, I was like,
you had a girl waitress, by the way?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Really?
It's usually male. It's usually male there.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's usually male.
So it's funny. Actually, I'll back up for a second. We're walking down and we're hungry as shit. We're like, where are we going to eat? And we see this rocket standing out in front, and we're like, my buddy's like, yeah, we're eating here. Like, works for me, pal. So we go in, and I still like them on Instagram, like to this day, and it's like crazy. None of their captions are in English. It's hilarious, right? You have like the C translation to see what crazy stuff they're doing. And I remember we were sitting down, whatever, they were asking us questions. They were asking like, what do we want? And I was like, oh, like I'm good. And I think it was my buddy James's turn to order food, right? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's your turn to order. He's gonna pay. So, and he's like, they're like, oh, how are you doing this? Separate bills? And no, James goes, because he made this joke a lot, but he was like, nope, I'm paying for my husband today, right? The look on this chick's face was like you told her you had like a week left to live. She was like, whoa, no,
probably freaked out.
Well, you can't say that here. You can't. And I was like, whoa. I gotta move here. This is crazy. I'm just kidding, right? But I'm like, oh man, this is hilarious. I am planning on doing that. Not for that reason primarily, but that was primarily. But that's so funny because I was like, oh shit. So as soon as you said it, I was like, yo, you'll get a kick out of this one. So.
Yeah. Normally it's guys who are waiters there.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's like it depends. If you're in just a coffee shop, But if you're like in a restaurant, usually it's men.
Right.
I don't know if it's like, I forget. I asked this a million times. I don't know. I forget now what it was, but I don't know if it's because men are stronger. That's what they think. Like men are stronger. They hold the food better, or whatever.
Maybe.
And women are prettier, so they're seen as the girl at the front of the
hostess. Yeah.
Hostess.
Which is what
like little daintier
yeah,
things.
but we got a female server too. Like female hostess.
I guess they have them. Yeah, but like I know, like
it was weird.
Yeah, in Bosnia, for example, in Herzegovina,
Yeah.
it's 95% male servers.
Yeah, I don't think I saw a female in Bosnia.
Oh, really?
Absolutely insane. Yeah.
What do you mean? Where'd you go?
No, well, like even just like the hostel we stayed at, right?
Where'd you stay?
We stayed in Sarajevo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, I would show you on a map, man. We did a wild trek. So we left Sarajevo. Oh no, we went. So we drove from. Do you know where Uvac Park is? National Park in Serbia.
No, I've never been there.
There's like a big lookout.
I'm Croat. We don't accept
Fair,
Serbs.
yeah, sorry.
No, I'm
Anyways,
kidding.
yeah.
I've never been there.
I thought I got
Half
over
kidding.
in the 90s, or that's still.
It's not over. No.
So what happened is, dude, we drove there and we decided instead of camping at this national park in Serbia, we would drive 6.5 hours at 11 o'clock at night to Bosnia. And I don't know, you might be able to explain this because I've always wanted to know. We drove through these like tunnels and mountains, and like they were like one-way tunnels. There were times where I'm like, our car might not fit. What is that?
It's just old infrastructure.
It is old.
So they just never really did anything with it. And it's just basically
okay.
like you have an idea like who's going first. You can see in front of you, and you let people go through.
Interesting.
That's more in the poorer parts they have that.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a little more modernized in that country, but like I said, it's a war-torn country.
It's tough.
There's three governments. The political system's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? No, you're trying to move to Croatia though, not here.
Honestly, both.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also why I lived there for like 6 months. I did 2 6-month stints. Was to train and bodybuild.
Who do you stay with, or where do you stay?
Get my own apartment.
Oh, you just save.
It's much cheaper there. Yeah,
really?
cheaper living. Yeah, way
How
cheaper.
much?
Like
What'd you spend for like the per month on
I spent
rent?
a lot, but like it's because I want to live like a king. But
Yeah. Per month on rent in Bosnia.
on average for a 1-bedroom apartment, Canadian. I gotta do the math. You got a calculator?
Yeah, no worries. Go for it.
Let's see 1 sec. On average, if it's $420 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment with underground parking. Canadian. I did the conversion.
Brother, man.
Yeah, a lot cheaper.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. I'm paying 13 for this
Yeah.
with the garage. Though.
I know, but
Not
still,
a little bit,
yeah. But they also, the
And
other
I
thing
got a
is-
sick deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually not bad price.
Not bad,
though.
right?
Yeah, and but the other thing is though their income is a lot lower than ours, right? Their average income is way
Yeah.
lower. For them, it's like
Which is crazy.
it's expensive, but not very expensive. It's just like
Yeah.
kind of like in the it's like
Ah,
middle class, like it's a normal middle class.
my
apartment.
buddy tipped her 20 euros. Our server.
Yeah, and you don't tip in Bosnia really. Croatia only.
It was
tourists
in
tip.
Split. Yeah, it was.
Only tourist tip.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like a mandatory thing like here, because over there you pay your
Yeah.
employee, and that's it. Your employee, like if you're an employer,
Yeah.
if you own a restaurant, you pay your waitress your wage. You don't pay them
Yeah.
a minimum wage to expect the customer to
Yeah.
pay for his food and pay for his service.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You pay for your food, which comes with the service. The employer pays for the for the employee to have a better
Yeah.
service.
So per ratio, they're probably making more than servers here.
like
Per ratio,
yeah,
right? Like
but also
obviously, like
tourists pay them tips, so they
Yeah.
actually do pretty good.
she got real pissed when my buddy. She actually sent a long message being like, "This is like, how dare you send like 20 euros of a." She wasn't mad, but she was just like, "What the hell is
Insulted
that?"
maybe, or
Yeah, a little bit, like borderline.
Yeah.
Insulted a bit for sure about like, "Hey man, why the hell would you tip me 20 euros? You know, it's almost 30 bucks Canadian, right?" So she was just like flabbergasted, especially because she told us she was a dental hygienist. Let's go over that. And we're like, "How much you make?" She got about 20 grand being a dentist. I was like, "What? A year? Huh?"
Yeah, but like I said, their living standards are a lot
Very
lower.
lower. Yeah.
Much lower.
Which is interesting, but it seems like a lot. Do you think it'll ever become like westernized and modernized, whatever?
Sadly, the
Like,
reason why I want to
come
move
over?
there is because I don't want it to.
Right.
But
You
I'm
wanna
going to be
avoid it
honest,
as long as you can.
living there and really seeing it now, things are slowly changing all over the world. I'm not talking forever or China, whatever.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
talking about Eastern Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
Even there, it's changing. Yeah, and I can say that because I've been cultured my whole life. I've been raised by parents.
Yeah,
who help.
and every
We've
year you
kept
go
our-
back and forth.
Yeah,
you
I
spend
speak the
time
language.
there.
I'm fluent in the language. Everything. So
Yeah.
actually the whole world is changing. It's becoming more and more. Like Croatia's a lot more understanding and opening now.
Yeah.
Bosnia definitely isn't, but they're not part of the EU.
No.
Which is also why I maybe would rather maybe live there and maybe raise kids and have kids because
yeah.
they have a normal upbringing.
Yeah.
Education
Try to
there
get
is a
away
lot
from
harder. A lot harder.
Really?
They learn way more there, way smarter than we are. Like, way smarter. The only thing is they have nothing to do with it because the country is kind of a mess.
Yeah, you're limited.
I'm talking about Bosnia, yeah.
Sure,
Croatia, even there, it's okay, but...
Yeah. Croatia's part of the EU, right?
Yes,
yeah, okay.
they are now.
Yeah.
Like, fully. Even their dollar is now, like, EU.
Oh,
It used to be
you can
something
use
else.
euros. And
Now it's a euro.
Yeah, you can use it forever.
Yeah.
I think, but.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they're...
Okay.
Yeah, like, what we learn in grade 12, they're learning in grade 8, grade 7. In terms of math, science.
Do you think they just have more, like, they do more, or they just, like,
When they're in
they
school,
spend more time
they spend a
on
lot
it?
more, and they actually learn a lot more. Like, they know about the world a lot more. We don't really learn much. We kind of just hone in on the little topics and learn a bit about it, whereas they learn, like, everything about everything. Even university, like, I have friends who are in university who have, like, 20 courses a year. 20.
Yeah.
Not 5 a semester, like 20 a semester.
Yeah.
Like, for 2 semesters.
What does it take to live there? Like, why was 6 months as long as you can live there? Or like,
No, I could have stayed longer. I just had to come back because I wanted to compete this time, and I had to get surgery on my head. I don't know.
Yeah,
they
talk
can't
us.
see.
What happened? That's why he's sitting on Marco's sitting on this side of the table.
I got
See
my head
this
sliced
giant-
open.
What happened? Machete?
Yeah, so I got in a fight with this Russian gang in Bosnia. No, I wish. No,
I was like, okay,
yeah.
maybe.
Long story short, I got a haircut in Toronto like 2 years ago before COVID kind of opened up, and I went and paid cash. I had no proof of purchase. Paid cash. It was supposed to be open. I got a haircut like 2-3 days later.
But it's like a normal hair salon anyway. It's like a barber shop, whatever.
There was people coming in and out, but it was kind of not supposed to be open.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get a haircut before things opened back up. And I ended up flaring up on my head, and then like a few days later, and it took me like 9 months to go see a dermatologist after that. So I didn't know what it was. It started growing. I had these growths growing on my head. Like 9 months passed, and
What? You think just infected? Something was infected. He uses or what?
it's a disease. I literally contracted a disease from a haircut.
Something was on. Maybe you didn't clean something
Yeah,
properly.
like
and
I got
cross
a blood cross contamination, and this disease I got is from like an African disease that's very rare.
What?
Yeah, and so that's when I finally found that out. It took 9 months to see the dermatologist. She set me up with some like pills to take for a few months. It didn't help.
What?
Then I had to go back. Then
Of course
they got a biopsy. Sent that, see a specialist. So it took like a year and a half. Then finally,
Whoa.
2 years later, I got surgery. I had to cut it out. Yeah, yeah,
Bruh.
yeah. It was a mess.
Jeez. Will it ever like will
Heal
the
from
scarring
it?
stop and you'll grow hair back over
It's
there?
not a
or-
guarantee, and there's not a guarantee that this will go away.
Yeah. The upside is from this and from the side you can't see it. It's until you turn all the way this way, then I'm like, oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah,
Fucking crazy, man. Whoa.
brutal. I know, bad luck.
Yeah.
So I
and
couldn't
you
train.
can't-
I couldn't train for like 6
and you can't
weeks.
sue them.
Yeah, I can't do nothing.
Yeah. Maybe you wouldn't, but I mean,
I would have if I
I'd
could
be
have.
pretty
I
pissed.
would have
I'd be
100%.
pretty
No, I
pissed.
would have. Yeah,
would've-
you like
I would've been
yeah.
upset
You
with this.
screw me up for life because this might be
Yeah.
something that's stuck with me for life. It becomes autoimmune. There's a bunch about
What?
yeah. So 2 and a bit
There's
months ago, I
no
got surgery, and yeah, brutal.
Now, how long did the doctors recommend you not train for post-surgery?
Still till it's fully healed, but
But what it, yeah.
it's not fully healed.
So how long would fully heal?
A couple months.
Okay, so like, let's call it like
3 months.
2 to 3.
4 max.
Okay.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's been
Let's call it
two
like
and
a
a half.
season, right? Like, yeah.
It's been like 2.5 months.
Jeez, eh?
Yeah.
And you're like, forget it, man.
No, it was 6 weeks. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. You're like, Doc, I'm gonna run through a wall.
Yeah, but
If
it was
I
actually
can.
the worst pain in my life too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the surgery or like the
The surgery, the
Just
after
the stuff.
surgery. Even now, I'm still
or
dealing with
before?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Like when I would bend over, my head would like fill up with blood because you have to rip my whole scalp open
Whoa.
and like reattach whatever they cut out and reattach the head over. Yeah. I had like 100
What?
staples, 40 stitches. Brutal.
Oh my goodness.
I talk about it nonchalantly. People are kind of like scared about it, but
I can imagine. Yeah, the visual might be a bit upsetting to softer people, but yours truly
Yeah, whatever.
doesn't have that issue.
I look like I got in a fight with a fucking
Yeah.
chainsaw, honestly.
I was believing you. You could have strung us all along, and I've been like, "Oh, cool. Tell us more about the Bosnian game."
I have said a few like
Yeah.
fake lies to people, yeah, and then yeah.
In terms of training and stuff, you've decided to switch into coaching now. Yeah, or not switch in, but like also do it. Do you find like how did that come about? Because you're like you have clients already that were like everybody was reaching out to you, or
Yeah, so I've had a lot of people reach out to me in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of injuries over the last couple of years and a lot of setbacks, which taught me how to train smarter. And I've always coached myself. So I've learned a lot on like nutrition, training, supplementation. I've done a lot of like my own research,
Yeah.
which people have realized and seen over the years, and like obviously probably I guess trusted me and wanted my
Yeah.
advice. I've given advice to a lot of people. I've given free plans to a lot of people, and it's worked.
Mm.
So over time, through word of mouth, people have seen like the transformations or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, like you should start coaching." And it wasn't until like last year. She's actually my first client. Her name's Christy Valentine. Shout out to her. She was the first person who came up to me and said, "You want to coach me for a show?"
Oh, no kidding.
She hadn't trained for a year. She'd been out of the gym for a year, and she was like, "I want to do a show in like I don't know, like 3 months or 14 weeks."
Oh,
13
right
weeks.
on. Yeah.
She
Give
was
her
not
shit.
in great shape. So I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna be tough. Like, you want to do a show, you have to get like lean. You have to get for a show,
Oh, yeah.
and you haven't trained in a while. Like, you
Can
haven't
only
dieted in
imagine.
a while."
Yeah.
So that was actually really fun. Because I got to see her transform, and it actually ended up being really good. It worked out really well.
Amazing,
She looked
yeah.
her best ever. Even
And she was healthy. Like,
she competed in
she's
the past.
so- oh,
yeah,
wow. Yeah.
She looked her best ever.
That's crazy.
Without even training for a year.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that kind of gave me confidence through going, okay, like, why am I like holding back on this? I
have something
I
here.
know stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like I've always been kind of hesitant. Because like I don't know, there's a lot of judgment around. You know how it is, even with starting a podcast or
Yeah.
making videos and whatever. You're scared of what people are going to think. And when I saw that outcome, I kind of like kept going with it. A few people came up to me and I kept doing it. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go openly and say like, yeah, I'm starting coaching and this is what I want to do. It's another means of income. So something I'm passionate about, something I care about, and it's another means of income.
For sure.
So I'm not going to lie. So like it's a win-win.
not.
It's something I actually care about,
Yeah.
and it's something I can make a living off of hopefully one day.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
So this is we were talking a bit before we started rolling here about the excuse me, about how me mentioning memories from upbringing, not so much upbringing for me, but memories from when we were younger. It could literally even be less than like just over 12, like about 12 years ago, I'd say. So this is how I knew you were going to be, like, why I was very happy that when I discovered and you posted and shared a lot about that you're like transitioning into like, now I'm going to also be coaching people. Like, I'm accepting clients, I'm going to take it seriously, and I'm going to apply myself to getting other people better while also in turn like helping myself get better, right? So I remember this vividly. You had just started to like, well, you like we were friends, and then you ended up like went to different high schools, but I remember in grade, I think it was like second year or something, there was a lot of
Like after high school?
yeah, something like that, or even no, sorry,
Like in our 20s, early 20s?
no, like late teens,
Okay.
dude. Yeah, like you had started to work out and you were getting, like you got bigger in high school, right? Towards the end of it. I remember vividly, I hadn't seen you in a bit, and I had just started getting into like the weight room, lifting weights, maybe grade 10, 11, whatever, right? You were probably a couple years ahead of me, and you were bigger. So I remember going into Laurentian working out, and I remember you being there. I was like, oh, what's up, Uncle? And then I remember I was like trying to figure out this, like, it was a close grip no, it was a lat pull down. I remember this. It was a lat pull down, and I remember, and then there was like a close grip row as well. And I remember doing it, and I remember I was like messing something up or whatever, but you came by, you gave me feedback, you kind of coached the rest of the set, which was like 2 or 3 after.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, you know, like I was like, fuck, I want to get, and you're like, how much do you weigh? And I was like, oh, like about 165, 155 at the time. And I was like moving 110, 105 or one, and you're like, you know, keep doing this in a couple weeks, like in a couple months or 6 months, you'll be here. And then, you know, if you keep doing, you keep progressing, you keep pushing hard, you'll be here. And it was really, and I was like, oh, he has something here. Because, and I remember that vividly, because a lot of people are very competitive when it comes to weight room, and like somebody's like, you know, we were the same age. You had every reason to be like a dickhead about it, right? You're like, I'm doing it. But you saw, I don't know what it was, but you just weren't a douche about it. You're like, oh, I'm just, hey man, this is like, you were so secure in what you were, in the advice you were sharing to me at the time. And I remember it. And what happened is, a lot of people have why they don't like going into the gym. Their fear is it's intimidating, right? Bigger people, stronger people. It's like, you know, the alpha people of the species, you know, what have you. So you go in, you see people like you, and you see like, fuck, a bit intimidating, whatever. It's like, oh, he's lifting heavier, and I'm gonna go. And I'm like, well, he was just on that machine. Am I good enough to lift on that machine with him? You know, so that's what people think, right? Whether all that was what I was thinking at the time, it doesn't matter.
I've been there.
Right? Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So, which is why I thought it was interesting. But if they walk into the gym for their first time, my point is coming where they say, if you would have treated me differently there, that might have turned me off from going into the weight room in general. But it didn't. It was like every time it was like, oh, I feel good here. Oh, I feel good here. And then I associated bigger, stronger people with like in the gym specifically with like, they're some of the better people. Everybody's in a good mood there, right? Everybody's like, yeah, you know, they want to help.
It's your therapy session.
Yeah, man, right?
Yeah.
It's your therapy
Everyone
session.
there's to get better.
Right?
No one's there to get worse.
Bigger,
We
terrible.
all have problems. We're all going there to get better.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So seeing all
We all
that
have demons
was cool.
in our head or whatever,
man,
insecurities. Yeah.
Fucking all the above, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking back to that, and I was like, as soon as I saw you share that you wanted to coach and you were doing more of that, and you were like, you had clients, you were taking on more, I was like, you know what? He's got something here. So I was like, I wanted to tell you that because I was like, you made me feel good being in the gym, like about being in the gym, and kind of gave me hope that there was like I could progress to that because like, man, I'm 145, 155. I'm like, oh, you were hitting like you were pulling 185 or something like that at the time, whatever it was, and I was like, man, like he's lifting something that's his size. I'm like, well, I'm not lifting something my head, like my weight. So I ended up getting to that and passing that. Now every time I would go to that gym, or every time I would think of that, or I would do that exercise, I'm like, you know what, yeah, I fucking got this, man. Got this, man. So thank you for that. And then it's also, it was also like an interesting memory. I was like, you know, I remember vividly him not being a dickhead about it. So,
a lot of people think that us big guys are big, mean, whatever. Trust me, there are a lot of them out there. But majority of them aren't. Majority of them are big because they have something inside that like they're hiding, so they get bigger to cope with hearing.
Right.
Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of that. I'm not trying to say I'm very insecure now. Still, like I always have. We all have things we're negative about ourselves about whatever, however you want to say it.
Yep.
But yeah, like everyone, most people who work out and do this stuff are honestly probably the nicest people. Yeah.
Oh, interesting, eh? So I really could appreciate that. And what do you have to say though to people that might be like need that nudge to go in the gym? Like, why is it so important to be healthy or get in good shape right now, more than ever?
It's honestly more mental than physical.
Right.
Physical is very important, but I think if you fix the mental, everything else will kind of like follow through with it, follow suit. It's mental because like what you were saying. What's the advice I would give for someone like to go in the gym? Yeah,
people are like they need to do it and they don't understand quite the urgency. But they might be intimidated or afraid to start. How would you kind of coach them through that?
There's a lot of benefits through it because like when you do something on your own, and you see progression from work that you put in on your own, it motivates you because it makes you feel like you're able to do something. Usually people like when they start something they fail, they kind of like lose interest. But when you do this on your own and you progress, that confidence you build in the gym also goes into like your life, and all the things you do in life. So I don't know.
That's good.
I'm kind of forgetting where I was going to go with this.
No, it's all right. There's a lot to understand.
What is advice I would give someone? What were you saying?
Yeah, like just if people don't understand, talk to me about the importance of needing to start like getting in shape and getting healthy. There's a lot of people, dude, everywhere I go. Everybody's unhealthy. How would you if I'm a new
there's
client,
a lot of different types of unhealthy.
Okay. If I'm a new client and
you're trying to say physical then?
Yeah. It's a physical fitness. Stress the importance of it. Why is it so important? Not just to you, but to other people. Like, what would you say on that topic of it's so important? Because I push it to everybody. I'm like, I tell my friend, like, I don't care what it is. Get your ass in the gym. Do something, right? Everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to do this. Nobody really often does.
Usually when you see someone physically fit, some people are going to think they're like dumb, meathead, whatever.
Sure.
But usually someone who's physically just even fit, not just even bodybuilder, like physically fit, they have discipline. They have values. Because it takes a lot of energy without having motivation to go to the gym every day and get better every day.
Right.
So if someone's fit, they have a lot of good qualities that someone who isn't fit has, I think. So they're not lazy.
Right.
They're
and they can't buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a false confidence.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a false confidence.
Yeah, man.
Some people take it as and their ego goes through the roof and they do other.
That's their own insecurity projecting, right? Yeah. That's more just like, oh, he's dumb. I got to be smarter if he's in better shape. No, it's probably the opposite. Because I think I was listening to this show once and this guy talked about it where he's like, if you could have the nicest suit in the world, but if you're a fat slob, it doesn't matter. It's not going to look like an expensive suit. But if you're in really good shape and you're tapered well, you got lean mass, right? And you have more of like a confidence because you're like,
I'm not a posture. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
like a lower back and all
Yeah.
chair office working, but you end up going into it and walking with a bit higher chest, bit chin up a bit more. You're walking a bit taller, and you're like, oh, people can sense that.
People sense that.
Yeah, man.
It's a vibe. I don't know how,
Yeah.
it's an energy. I don't know how to explain it.
No, 1,000%.
People sense it. I know when I started getting more fit, like
Mhm.
we said in high school, grade 11, 12, I
Yeah.
started getting noticed more.
Interesting.
It was like, oh,
What did that look
he must
like?
be
Yeah.
good at something. He must be, you know, what does he have that I don't have? Why is he
interesting,
walking
yeah.
like that? Why is his mannerisms like that? Why is his, like, you know,
Yeah.
you don't have that, like, kind of like, it's not that you're slouchy. It's almost like an aura. You have a more
Interesting.
positive
Yeah.
aura. Yeah.
I like that you touched on that by saying positive aura. Like, it's definitely, you can't be, dude, I find if I haven't gone, I can't go more than a day without some form of like
Physical
aggressive,
activity?
and I mean, I'm a bit different, but I mean,
Yeah, you like
yeah,
fighting
physical,
too. I would,
yeah.
If I didn't do this, I'd be in fighting too.
yeah, right. So
Yeah,
it's
'cause I like
want
physical
you to,
aggression, yeah.
Because you just went down for your buddy's kickboxing fight, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was exhibition match, so it didn't really
Uh,
count as like a win or lose.
Yeah, but I mean, that's you got kicked in the head and punched in the face,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then it's a fight,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's sick.
I've been
man.
in a few of those. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they suck.
Yeah.
But they're awesome and they suck. But there's Buddy did well. Like, would you say he got the better of his opponent or no?
It was pretty even. It was his first fight ever.
Oh, yeah,
He's
no,
never
for
been
sure.
in a fight.
Dude's
So-
been training hard, and I know he's been training hard because they kickbox after I do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they go same
Yeah.
gym as you?
Yeah.
Does he go?
Yeah, he
No,
went to
they-
Troop.
he's not
Like,
a
you
they,
met
yeah,
his
he's a
coach,
he.
Ron, eh?
Yeah. With the glass. The same glass.
Yeah, shorter guy, bit stockier,
Yeah.
glasses, white guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say he did pretty. The first round he was a little bit like slower.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
had
know if
to
that's-
get his foot. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a
second
lot
round
going
was
on.
like pretty good. Third round he definitely had the upper hand. He
Yeah.
built up a little more confidence, aggression.
For sure,
But I don't
yeah.
think he has
He's
that
like, oh,
aggression
man.
in him. You know, we have that like.
Yeah.
You know? He doesn't have that.
that dog, man.
Yeah, I know. I told him, I
That's
said,
it.
need a more in it. Like,
Yeah,
you hit
man.
someone, like, hit him. Don't just, like, kind of, you're in, like, fuck, like, go through it.
Do you think, did he get hit at any point that, like...
He got punched in the face, like, 2 or 3 times. I was like, well, he got hit good. He's going to feel that.
Yeah, but what I'm... Perfect. So after those, usually one of two things will find happen. Usually somebody will be like, nah, I'm all right.
Pull back or they push.
Or it's push. That's what
started
fight or
pushing.
flight is, right?
Yeah.
Did you say he started
That
pushing?
was the third round.
Okay.
He got hit
So
twice or 3
That's
times.
where he's
Then he
like,
started
enough.
going-
There you go. Yeah. So he
Exactly.
has it. It just takes... He might have just needed...
Takes a little more to get
man.
out of him.
And dude, it's his first one. You got to shake it out, man. Like
Yeah.
every time, yeah. That's awesome, though. And I know because, yeah, he goes hard. That's cool. He's always there. Like
Yeah.
every Tuesday, Thursday, at least when I see him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sick.
He wanted me to help him drop weight, but he was not disciplined enough to not
No,
eat.
it
So I was
happens.
like, So he
Eating,
ended up
eh?
fighting like what, heavyweight or something, or super
So
heavy.
big,
It's
yeah.
like 250.
Yeah, I know we went down for. They do a lot of those, which is awesome, because I know if they like stress and interest, and then they want to, and they train serious, they got a good group of kickboxers though. So I'm happy he was able. I saw you went. I was like, no, sit, no.
Yeah.
way, can't
I was already there, so that's why I was
That's
going to watch.
oh,
the fight.
right. I thought you went
Yeah.
down. For
I was
the
training with my coach. No, I was training with. Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
yeah. Train at fucking
Pure muscle.
Pure Muscle.
You
yeah.
been there?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was absolutely
It's like a
insane. It was
gold
like
mine. It's like-
2.5 hours, and I was like, I could do every.
You can't
I
stop.
haven't done anything.
I went with my, Sadiq. I went with him.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to do this workout. He started working out. He went to like every machine. Like, man, we didn't come here to train for 3 hours. He's just like, man, I want to try this. I want to try that. I'm like, you're like a kid in a candy store.
No
and you got
way.
that. It's the best gym ever.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's so sick.
In
dude.
North America, it is the best gym in North America.
Oh yeah, hands
In the
down,
Western
dude.
world.
It's so big. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. I think
Yeah.
I went with a buddy, Patty. And
Yeah,
then
Pat told me about
Evan,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Ethan. Yeah, Evan. But yeah, dude, oh, so sick. It's I felt, if
Tiny?
if it wasn't such a big gym,
Yeah.
and it was closer, like if it was working out with those people in here, I'd be a bit more like, all right, I feel pretty small in this area. But yeah, definitely there, I was like, whoa, everybody's ridiculously
It's like,
strong.
I'm small there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is absurd to me. But everybody's built like trucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's do a 40-yard dash. You guys,
And then,
it'll be close.
They'd
It'd
get
be
killed.
close,
They'd get
but-
killed. You'd kill him.
If you have the explosivity, then I don't think, or the explosiveness, I think you guys, it'd be close, but yeah, smash it. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, I have to find an edge to it. But I'm like, man, these guys are squatting deadlift, these chicks are squatting deadlift. I'm like, you guys are insane.
Yeah, the
I
girls are
love
bigger
how
than
they
the guys
have-
here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I
it's
love how
crazy.
they have it set up too. Like, it's the smartest way. Like, they have studios in there, like for the podcasts they do, right?
Yeah, even posing this, that,
Yeah,
whatever.
man, it's sick, and like they make it that like type of a community, like, and it's not so much just like, oh, a pure muscle and fitness community. It's a bodybuilding competitive
Yeah,
athlete.
influencers,
Yeah,
sorta, yeah.
it's a cool mix.
Got
'Cause
it all.
I find you need to be almost, for lack of a better word, influencer in order to like be good in bodybuilding or make some form of effort as a
Become-
coach. Like, you
yeah.
have to be known. Right?
That's what I struggle with. That's the biggest thing I struggle with. Even like doing this podcast right now, I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? I was kind of intimidated in the beginning.
Yeah. You seemed a bit resistant through your messages, but I was like, you're like, yeah, okay, are you sure you want to? I'm like, yeah, I want to do it, dude.
And that's the thing. To make nowadays, like if you want to make a name for
help.
yourself, you need to make a brand. You're starting a brand.
Yep.
You're like I said, you're bodybuilding, or even if you're a jiu-jitsu fighter, you're not gonna make all the money on fights.
Oh god, no.
You gotta do other things.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
You gotta like put yourself out there, and one of the things is doing this kind of stuff. So
this will help you a lot, I think, in general. That's why I was like, I hope he says yes, because it'll. Like worst case, it helps you get a bunch of cool videos that are like good talking points as well for you and stuff like that, packaged differently, more notoriety as well. But I think what's cool is you do a lot of. I have some people I need you to follow after, but you might already. But there's a lot of social proof, and I think you're doing a lot of that now, and you're like in the beginning stages of it, and I could see hints of you doing the correct things. I'm very, very excited to see how it kind of blossoms for you, because it will get to a point where you have to almost, once you punch the fear in the face of doing the talking head videos, I don't want to sound like
what's like gonna think of what I sound like.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Which, before we say anything, I want you to write this down.
Yeah.
Next year, same day, same time, not same time, whatever. Write this date down. What is it? October 31st is Halloween.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, next year around Halloween time, if I'm not in Europe, we're going to do it on an online Zoom podcast. I don't care.
Fuck it, I'll go to Europe for an episode.
Yeah, sure. Come on.
Okay. I'd rather do that than Zoom.
We're doing one again in a year because I want to see the difference.
Oh, that'd be cool.
In what we talk about and what I'm doing. So at the end of this, I know this is your podcast.
Yeah, I love
it. Let me
run
the show for a second.
I'm in, dude.
Yeah, because we're going to add this. So give people, so this is why I want to do this. In 1 year, I want to know the difference in what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do.
Yep.
We're not done, by the way. This is not the ending.
Of course not.
I want to say what I want to do, my goals, and what I want to get done by the end of the year. And we're going to see in 1 year if I did that, and we're going to talk about the mistakes I've made, and I'll be honest about it.
Yeah, you'll be in Europe.
If I'm not, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you to be,
if
I have a reason to go there.
Yeah, no, actually, if I'm honest to God, if things go well financially, by this time I'll probably actually be there.
Is it saving up so you
not
can
financially.
live the 6 months? Is that kind of the idea?
No, it's if I'm making an income online enough to live on my own and be like self-sustainable, where I don't have to actually have a job or help my dad or do property management, which is what I also do. Do a bunch of things, right? So, and you know that, but our fans here don't. So that's something while I was coming here, I was like, we got to write that down because I want that to be like that'll drive me. I'm very competitive.
I'll check in every couple months or every month or so and be
like,
yo, man, or you'll keep at it, or any videos this month?
Yeah, well, you'll see, I'll post them.
Yeah,
I already have 3 ready to go.
I'll be like, dude, where are they?
Yeah, so that's something I want to do because I want to see the difference in a year. And then even with you in a podcast in a year, how about that? Cool. Let's have some goals.
It'll be cool to see.
Yeah, and I'm competitive, so if you're doing good, I want to do whatever,
It'll force me to stay consistent because it's like every now and then what I'll do is I'll get side jobs, right, outside of my general income, and I'll do side work, and then say I'll make like $2,500 or $1,500. I'll take whatever I'll pay off the job, and I'll take 50%, invest it, and then like I'll use a little bit to buy like gear, like say new camera from another job, or I'll buy a new gun from another, like for the money I'll get another job. But it's like I'll buy new mics, buy the curtain with new mics, curtain, different audio setup, and equipment and gear, just so I can slowly like add that, right, and slowly progress that. Because the thing is very, very important that I think a lot of people miss is using that money, and I think my dad does this well, where it's like his extra work, side work, just funds like the hobbies. And not so much hobbies, but hobbies. Passions.
Yeah. And I know what they are, but exactly.
Yeah, because like,
that's what I do.
Hobbies is model trains. Passions is like...
Passions.
My, like, like your drive to coach to coach and to compete in bodybuilding, like be a professional, like and I think people need to study in bodybuilding. They need to study Chris Bumstead a lot, just because he talked about it, where it's like, what do you make to win? Like, you've seen the clip where he talks about winning Miss Olympia, like you only really win like 50-60 grand or something. It's not a lot, and that's the mecca of winning, right? So it's like you
for that category,
right?
The big boys win more, but
you have to create but like for how much you have to do, for how much food costs and everything, like it's not quite that much.
Expensive. No, it's expensive,
So it's like you need to create a brand, you need to create some form of things, like everything. Like I have a couple things in the works of things that I'm looking to do. I'm just having to build those brands. I have things that are starting that you'll see on like YouTube that I'm doing and stuff, and be like, oh, why is he doing this a bit more? Why is he doing these videos? Oh, they're doing well. Okay, why? It's like, well, I want it to funnel to like everything funnels into itself. And then everything is just like, now it's just, who are you? What are you known for? What do you enjoy doing? How do you add value?
Yeah.
And if you can find those and like the how you add value, I think it's just gonna skyrocket. So yeah, as long as it's the whole talking head videos. I have a couple friends that are also in like not so much bodybuilding space, but they're in the like health and fitness. I'll say, because they're more in the health, but they're in the health field and they know they have to do talking head videos because people need to connect with your personality. They need to know who you are, right? But
you want to have
like
a reason for them to like hire you or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing with you too, I was thinking about it in the beginning of this episode, was you have a powerful voice when you speak, right? You're a powerful presence. Use it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, use it more, right? A lot of people will like write a bunch of stuff on a video, then nobody cares. Speak to the camera.
Yeah.
Right?
Talk from the heart.
Yeah, and like have it for you, like have it not so much just head here. It's like you're missing like all your upper body features. Dude, shoot from your belly button up. Talk like this. And be like, hey, like here up. That's what I see. Boom. Right, captions in the middle, whatever, and then boom, go. And just super easy, super simple, and you just fly on that. Like, use your powerful voice, use your powerful presence, like project that confidence, and then people will see that and be like, oh, I want to be confident like him. I want to be big and strong like him. I want to learn from him. And then it's a wrap.
It's crazy because in person, if you ask me certain questions, I'll say them very confidently and with a lot of like passion and like whatever you want to call it, like oomph in them.
Yeah.
But when I speak on camera, you're almost hesitant. You're almost you're like second guessing what you're going to say, which is a goal of mine for next year when I'm doing these videos or even a podcast. I'm doing pretty good on here, I think.
Yeah.
But the goal is I want to be able to like speak to the camera and not think I'm crazy talking to myself.
Right.
Because that's kind of how I feel.
No,
and I'm like second guessing. Did I say that right? Did that come out right? When I talk to somebody normally, I don't second guess what I'm saying. I just say it. You know what I mean? That's something that a lot of people actually, I think, take for granted. It's a lot harder than people think.
Yep.
Speaking on camera.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's easier when it's to your side and you don't see it, but it's a lot harder when it's in your face. And you're like, hey, like everyone's gonna see my face, my feature, how I'm gonna say this. It's nerve wracking, but I'm getting over it, and that's one of the goals for next year is to be very natural and not have to do 20 takes, just to be able to do it once. Yeah.
That's man, it's fun to do. But also, there's a couple. I'll send you a couple videos. You might have seen it, but I'll send you one video about this guy. Like, I followed this guy for a bit because I had this coach on, this online fitness trainer on, for combat athletes.
Yeah.
And he's doing like really well. And he told me the two guys he's like, you should follow these guys. These are my mentors in space. And I was like, okay, cool. They're both from Kelowna or in Kelowna, and I'm like checking out their stuff. And then one of them is like 6 tips on how to like get over like the fear of camera, like how to make that a bit easier for you. One is like they'll put like camera eye level, so it's like easier. You're talking right at the camera's eye level instead of like this or like that, or it's awkward,
it's
right?
Natural.
Yeah, man, exactly.
Face to face with
yeah,
someone.
you're talking to someone right eye level, it makes it perfect. That's a bit easier. And then there's some other stuff that they mentioned. I can't quite remember, but I'll fire you the video after. But there's a bunch of stuff like that. But if you were to pick, because I'm curious, top 5 exercises that everybody should be doing, that might be your... actually, no. Top 5 exercises that if you had to do for the rest of your life, it would be these 5.
Okay, if I wasn't into bodybuilding, I just wanted to be fit.
Yeah.
Number 1, chin up. Push up or bench press, meaning you're pressing something in front of you.
Okay.
You're pressing above you, so shoulder press.
Yeah.
A squat and a deadlift, because you're lifting off the floor, picking things up and putting them down.
Bench, squat, deadlift.
And shoulder press.
Shoulder press.
And
So
chin
like
up. And chin up.
the big 4 compounds.
Chin up, bench, squat, deadlift, and what did I say? Bench, squat, shoulder press.
Shoulder press, yeah. Overhead press.
You're getting every muscle involved with all that. Everything's being worked.
Amazing. Yeah. I like those. Them cute.
It's practical, yeah.
Yeah. Man, interesting. Do you have kind of, let's say to conclude, or anything you wanted to mention that you think somebody who maybe wanted to get into bodybuilding or wanted to get into fitness, what would you recommend? Like any advice for them, or any stories, or any like piece of advice or tip for them, for people?
So what I would tell myself, when I started, what I should have done, is stop worrying about what people think. It's hard when it's not a normal thing.
Right.
So your family's always going to judge you for eating all the time, or you're getting too much muscle, or whatever.
No matter what you're doing. Yeah.
Everyone's going to, point the finger. Especially people the closest to you, because those are the ones that can tell you what they think, because they're used to just telling you what they think all the time. I would build up discipline a lot sooner in my life. I would have been, that's something I didn't really think of. And how to do that, honestly,
Right.
is doing the things you don't want to do on purpose. So in my head, if I like don't want to do something, I'm purposely gonna now go, I gotta do it. I literally do that. I think Steve Goggins, or what's that Goggins guy?
Yeah.
He kind of says that, like he talks about that, where I'm like, I do that too. Where it's like an OCD thing now,
Oh,
where it's like if I feel like I'm gonna be a pussy if I don't do this, I now gotta do it, so I'm not a pussy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if
makes
I said
sense.
I'm gonna do, I mean, if my head said like I can't do that, now I have to do it. Like it's almost like, oh, I gotta do it now. I have to, just because I said I couldn't.
Shit,
So
interesting.
building discipline, building confidence in yourself. Honestly, in terms of like just bodybuilding, I would say like training properly, not worrying about your ego, not lifting too heavy. I think a lot of people just like worry about the numbers and the weight. That doesn't really matter because, like, to be honest, I used to be stronger before, and I was much smaller, and now I'm much bigger, and I'm lifting similar or less, sometimes more. But I wouldn't worry about the weight. And having proper form, a lot of people don't really know this, or I don't know if they do, but just moving the weight straight up and down might look good, but are you contracting the muscle you're trying to actually target? That's what a lot of people don't understand. Bodybuilding is very meticulous.
Right.
Like someone can look like they're benching properly, but they're not even engaging their chest.
Weird.
Someone can look like they're doing a bicep curl, but they're actually using more of their forearm and more momentum to pull in their shoulder rather than their bicep. There's a lot, there's a lot to it. Like
It's a lot more detailed than.
a lot more detail. So something I should have done is focus more on just like lifting properly and feeling the weight in that particular muscle I'm trying to target, rather than just get it from point A to point B where it looks good.
Right.
Going slow doesn't just mean you're just gonna hit your bicep. You gotta not just go slow, but also feel it, like get into it, and like change certain angles or ways like you move the weight. That's another one. Diet, nutrition is bigger than a lot of people think.
Really? How much would you say is like actual fitness in the gym, and how much would you say is nutrition?
In bodybuilding, it's 100% on all, because they're all very,
Yeah,
it's
makes
100%
sense.
diet, it's 100% training, because you're trying to be the best at something.
Okay,
There's
yeah,
no
makes
20%
sense.
here or there.
Yeah, fair enough.
But in terms of like an average person, diet's the biggest thing, or just someone who's trying to be fit. Well,
Yeah, or
okay,
at least
sorry.
not.
Training is number one.
Right.
You got to bust your ass in the gym. You're not gonna,
yeah.
your body's not gonna change without busting your ass
Right.
in a good way. You can eat good food, but you're not gonna look unreal if you don't train hard. Training's number one, but diet is number two. But diet's very close. They're very like next to each other, honestly. Nutrition's very important. A lot of people don't eat good food anymore. You know myself, like food's very processed nowadays. People
terrible.
go out to eat all the time. No one cooks for themselves. People don't even know how to cook anymore. Good food doesn't taste as good. That's because we don't know how to cook good.
Yeah.
How come my grandma, my mom, when they cooked good homemade food, it tasted good?
Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
no one was fatting out back in the day, and everyone was pretty fit.
Yeah.
And we ate way more, actually. I've heard a study that humans, or us, humans, whatever, we ate more, like, I don't know how many years ago, and we're less obese than we are now. We're eating less in terms of volume, maybe, of food.
Yeah.
But the food we're eating is more calorie dense, but it's shittier food.
Do you know I ate the other week like 7 Twix bars? Because like this woman
In a day or in a
no,
minute?
like right at the
In a
time,
sitting?
I grabbed
Oh, okay.
them all and just mucked them, and I was like a bit hungry. Not only did I feel like shit, I like couldn't eat much food the rest of the day. Like it filled me up.
It jacked your stomach
It wasn't
up.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I
Screws up
want
your
to
stomach.
eat. I'm like, fuck, now I can't eat lunch. And then I timed it, but then I messed up because then I ate right before I went to the gym, and then I was like, shit. Instead of eating at my lunchtime, which is like my usual lunch is like between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I'll try to eat because then it digests by the time I get to the gym at 5:30.
Yeah.
But right, so I kind of just divide it that way instead of early breakfast, lunch around noon, and then it's, now I'm hungry by the time. No, I need to be relaxed, right? So it was a lot of, I see a lot of that. So that's to your point, though.
Meal timing and proper nutrition. And also in terms of the bodybuilding thing, and maybe even training. I don't know if you guys do this with like contact sport.
Yeah.
What you eat before training will affect your training.
1000%.
Just like if you had 7 Twix bars, you're gonna feel like
1000%.
fat shit.
1000%.
If you had, I know everyone says chicken and rice, but if you had chicken and rice, you're not gonna feel like a slug when you go train an hour later.
It settles it's relaxing your stomach.
It digests properly because it's real food, and your body knows stomach acid
Yeah.
actually knows what to do with it. When it digests junk food, it's like, what am I doing with this? Am I sending it to the fat cell? Am I sending it to the muscle cell? Or am I going to poo it out?
Yeah, it's not.
Whereas when you eat
usually
chicken,
option
it
three,
knows what it's going to do with it. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah, because what I'll do is like I'll just have a bunch of eggs for lunch, which is like I had 4 eggs today, and then I'll probably have after the gym like 2 pounds of ground beef.
You know, it's funny. My breakfast is 4 eggs, chicken, cream of rice, which is like oatmeal if people don't know, banana and blueberries. 4 eggs and chicken, like 100 grams of chicken, which is like basically almost a
You're
breast.
insane.
That's my breakfast.
Yeah.
I've had 4 meals today.
You're insane.
I just ate before I got here.
4:30. Like,
Yeah,
what?
I've had 4,000 calories already today. Actually, yeah. 4
Is
meals.
that the key to like just Getting big, like you just have to
Proper nutrition and eating good quality food, and a lot of it
lot
frequently
of
throughout the day, as much as you can. I've built up to this, but like
Yeah,
obviously
makes
you
sense.
build up to it over time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus,
food's the
man.
biggest thing. So bodybuilding, yeah, that's another thing I didn't do back in the day.
Mm.
Is eat properly. I find like when I would go out and stuff,
Yeah.
it would mess up my sleep schedule. It would mess up my food schedule.
your training
You know,
schedule,
I'd eat
your
McDonald's
diet
every day.
recovery.
We all did the McDonald's post training for years. Yeah, when it
Yeah.
used to be $2 a burger,
Yeah,
now it's like fucking 10.
6, 10.
Yeah, for a Big Mac.
Insane.
So eating good food is the biggest thing too for bodybuilding. A lot of guys don't prioritize nutrition as much as they should because it's hard.
Have you stopped drinking?
I haven't
Fully,
drank, yeah. Since COVID
Like
started,
2020, yeah, roughly. 19, yeah.
I've drank a handful of times. And I don't drink like a beer. I don't do that. If
Yeah.
I'm drinking, I'm at a wedding, I'm getting loaded, I'm
Yeah.
having a good time. Or I'm at a
Yeah.
New Year's party or
It's
Halloween.
not just like your average Thursday.
Never. Never again in my life will I do that.
No
And I know
kidding.
I'll never do it again. Not just because like it's like even a religious thing, spiritual thing, or whatever. I just don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like not being in control of my mind.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's not my thing. I find like a lot of people lose control.
Is that your favorite part about it, or like what's the best thing that's happened? Like as a result of being, like cutting back drinking to just basically 5 in the last 5 years?
Mental clarity, mental stability.
Yeah.
Let's say drinking and other substances. I'm going to be a little
Yeah,
less
no
blunt
weed
on
and
that one.
yeah.
But like weed and other things when we
Yeah.
party. Not doing that has really affected me in a positive way. And cutting it
Really?
cold turkey. Immensely. Huge. Like huge.
Yeah.
It's actually like I actually get grossed out when I see that stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like obviously, like I said, there's a time and
Yeah.
place if you're getting married or like
Yeah.
something very special.
Weddings
event.
are like fun celebration events.
But it's got to be
fine.
like, let's say if you were getting married,
Yeah.
I'd drink at your wedding.
Hell yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
drink at random person's wedding. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding, eh?
It affects you too much. I find me like especially with training and bodybuilding and just
Yeah.
in general mental state.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to have like a depressive mind, anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean whatever. In the last like 4 or 5 years, I don't even know what that is anymore. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what it is because I
Oh,
don't
man.
abuse my body mentally in terms of substances, right?
Now that you mention it, every time I think about like the more depressed, anxious, and then more just negative friends I have, it's
Use
because
something.
of that. Every couple, like multiple times a week, they're like getting absolutely canned, and then they're up late, they drink late. It's terrible.
You're losing control of your actual
And you're
mental
like,
state.
why? Yeah, man. and
Your
you're like,
dopamine
why
levels
you
are off.
anxious? Why
Everything's
are you
off.
depressed?
Yeah.
Like, oh, because you're not sleeping properly. Like you said, all your levels
Eating
are off.
shitty food, you feel like shit.
Yeah.
If you actually eat good quality food,
Crazy, man.
you can make it taste good. I don't care what anybody says. And if you
Yeah.
don't
Oh, for
drink
sure.
hard often, and you actually like don't abuse narcotics, let's call them,
Yeah.
you can live pretty mentally and physically healthy, like for a long time.
It actually doesn't take that
No
much.
such thing as anxiety or depression when you do it. At least for me, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
It's been years. I can't even tell you what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be a little nervous before a podcast, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah, and that's good nerves.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's a natural
excitement.
nerve.
That's good anxious.
Not an unnatural. Like, why am I anxious when I'm sitting here and feeling like,
Yeah.
anxious for nothing?
It's like, oh,
Probably
because
because
I need alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
or probably because I did something 2 days ago that I didn't realize. Now I'm off, not doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my life,
Yeah.
and I'm like not doing what I should be doing, and then it kind of trickles into having mental issues. I don't know.
kidding,
That's
eh?
another topic I can talk about for days. But yeah.
Interesting. I think that's very important. Do you have anything you want to say to kind of wrap up this episode? Wrap up kind of what we talked about, or and then
You
we'll
have any
go.
questions? Any last questions?
No, I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. In 1 year, we're gonna have a
Hell
recap.
yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. So we'll
Yeah.
have some questions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So my goals and what I'm gonna do for the year. Let's say that's one
Let's
of them.
go.
'Cause this is why I wanted to do the podcast. This is one. Oh,
Yes.
also, yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Number one.
Light 'em up.
I'm just gonna say it straight up. I want to do a regional show, even though I don't have to technically, because technically last year was my first year competing, and I did a Sudbury regional show, qualified to go to Toronto, which is
Nice.
a national pro qualifier,
Yeah.
international, so people all over the world can come to turn
Oh,
pro in that
sick,
show.
yeah.
And I got 4th in my class.
Nice.
And so next year I want to win the overall at a regional show. If I don't pass it, I have 12 months to do a pro qualifier. And if I, based on my head and surgery and stuff, when I compete next, if the 12 months pass, I have to do a show to qualify again for a pro qualifier to turn pro.
Makes sense.
My goal is to get an overall, meaning win the whole show in a regional,
Yeah.
and go to a pro qualifier. And I'm going to be honest, get first place.
Yeah. Smash 'em.
That doesn't mean a pro card unnecessarily. I'm obviously going for that eventually. I want that. I want to be a professional. I want to be a good professional. But I want to get first place in that. If I get second or third or fourth, listen, I'm not a sore loser.
No.
But my goal is first. So that's 2. 3 is to have at least, there's how many weeks in a year? 50 weeks?
52, yeah.
52, sorry.
Yeah.
But I meant like,
Pretty much,
on average,
yeah.
if I had to ask that, I want at least 30 videos
Nice.
by next year.
Good.
30. They don't have to be 10-minute videos. They can be 30-second reels. I want at least 30.
On Instagram?
I'm not good at technology. I'm terrible. So Instagram, maybe TikTok. We'll see. But 30 videos.
Yep.
My coaching business, I want that to actually be something that's pretty legitimate. People see us like, you know what, like he's got integrity. His business does well. My clients do well.
Hell yeah.
And it's someone I want to work with. And I want to have X amount of clients by next year and a year. And I'm going to be honest with it. I'm going to say 20 clients.
Nice.
I want 20 consistent clients by next year.
Yeah.
And then if I'm passing that, I'm probably going to be in Europe, most
Let's
likely.
go,
Unless
baby.
things change.
Let's
but if it's
go.
20, I'll be gone for sure.
No, hell no.
I'll be starting, 20.
Fucking go.
And then, and I want you to give me some goals too. So set something up for yourself.
Yeah.
And, so another thing too, I want to set a good example for people. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm actually going to give it my honest all from my heart, however you want to call it, soul, for this next year in terms of talking on social media, telling the truth, my truth.
Yeah, your truth.
What I think is the truth.
For sure.
And just being real and actually putting information out there to motivate people, to inspire people, and to actually make people want to like do better in life. That doesn't have to be fitness and bodybuilding. That's the thing too. So this is why in the future I said I want to do other things. I'm using bodybuilding as my main niche because that's something I'm passionate about. But other people can apply the apply the qualities I have or the tactic I use to get to where I want to be, and use that for whatever endeavor they want to choose to take in their life. That's the last thing. Yeah, that's
nice,
I think that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
I want to set a good example.
Yeah.
I want to be a good person.
I
want to be known as a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the past, I don't know, people think like, big guys are bad guys,
Sure.
and I've got a bit of a past that I'm,
Yeah.
let's say, regret for certain things that people I might have looked at a certain person. I want people who like to really go, you know what, like he's on to something. He's a good person. I want to be respected, and maybe by saying that, I also like respecting myself more, having more self-confidence in myself.
I think if you do, yeah, man, I think if I didn't respect you and didn't care about you, I wouldn't watch you on the show, right?
Yeah.
So I think in turn, the way you're going about it sounds like you do have the best intentions, and that you do have, I've always felt this and believed this, that if you do right by people and you try to put your best foot forward every single time you're around people and be open and honest communication, if you can't for whatever reason, and you're just as to yourself as possible, a lot of people, I think you will succeed no matter what as long as you're consistent and you do that. You pair yourself, like your authentic self, with the consistency of it, I think it'd be perfect. And I think if you posted one reel a week.
So 52?
52. I think if you did one reel a week, you'd be surprised, which is nothing.
I said 30, but in my head I said 50.
Like once a week.
So, because I want...
Once a week,
let's
dude.
say 52.
There's no way you can't grow doing that.
Okay.
Are you kidding?
52.
No way. Zero.
Let's say 50. 50.
Yeah. Do one a week, because I guess Christmas is...
But we'll see.
right
How many
off
we do?
New
2,
Year's,
3 in a
right?
week, none in a week.
Yeah.
I want 50 videos.
One a week minimum.
Change it to 50.
One a week
It's on,
minimum.
it's on recording.
One a week
If
minimum,
I don't get
baby.
50, fuck it. I don't
That's
know
it.
what I'm
No, one a
if
week
I don't get
minimum.
50, let's make a bet.
Yeah.
If I don't get 50, I got to do something. I got to
Okay.
shave my head.
All right.
I don't know.
If you don't do 50 in a week,
Yeah.
you have to pay for my trip to the podcast.
No, that
to
to
do
the podcast.
to fucking no, I'll do it. Yeah,
$1,500.
that'd
I don't
be-
know.
Yeah, that'll be covered.
Well, I don't know if
There's
I'll be that.
incentive.
Yeah.
There's an incentive.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one for you.
Well, have free stay when you're there. I'll drive you around.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, there's here's the bet. Here's the bet part. Okay. If you don't do, and I'll hold myself to also doing this, I have to post 50 YouTube videos, and I'll tell you more about that after, but 50 YouTube videos, one a week for the rest of the year, or rest of this year into next year this time, in October 31st. The winner, you have to do 1,000 the loser has to do 1,000 push-ups, but in increments of 50 at any point. So you could be about to go up on stage for a pro event, and I can be 50 push-ups. And because you lost the bet, you have to do 50 push-ups. So you're basically at the helm, or at the helm of me or you, whoever loses. Or basically, it's basically an accountability buddy on this one, right?
You gotta get
because we're
1,000?
both gonna do it.
Yeah.
But it's like in sets of 50. So it's like, hey Marko, oh, you're about to get up on stage for this. Oh, you're about to 50 push-ups. You lost the bet, remember? And you're like, oh man, I wish I would have just posted one video that week. It prevents.
Well, I'm not going to lose. I'm going to do it.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not losing.
I'm not
because
gonna
I don't want to do that.
Me neither, right? So that's why I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not
it'll be
losing.
fun. Yeah. But that'd be the idea.
Okay.
But anyways, I really appreciate your time today. I appreciate you sharing more about yourself and kind of getting the reps in as well. I'm glad you're able to come on, and yeah, man, I really.
There's a lot more to come.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you. For what you have to come.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more things to talk about. Yeah.
Tell people where they can find you. Roll the red carpet. Let them know where they can find you and whatnot. And, go from there, man.
On Instagram, my name is The Real Banmar.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can look me up on there. I'll be posting 50 videos this year. Yeah, if you want coaching in terms of bodybuilding or even just weight loss or muscle building or bulking, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right on, brother.
I never actually had to think about it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Right on.